This is Jermaine Bryan reporting for the Pound for Pound Boxing Show, proudly sponsored by Bravos. I'm joined by Masood Abdullah and Sonny Warren. I'm going to talk Masood first. Masood, tough opponent tonight. Got the win, 5-0. Obviously, you seem disappointed with yourself. Sum up the feeling right now.
I mean, it's so because I've had to answer this question a bunch of times. I am disappointed with myself, but there's a lot of reason for it. There's a lot of excuses, but I do need to go back to the drawing board. I need to sit down, see what my coaches say, because what I say and what my managers say or anyone else says is just an emotional opinion. When we sit down and we all see, we all need to, accurately and cleverly adjust and see what we actually need to do. So we all need to sit down, talk about the weight properly, speak with the nutritionist about it. If I'm good, continue. If I'm not, go back up. But yeah, make a calculated decision.
Sonny, what's your feelings on his performance tonight, and obviously the win? He was a tough opponent. You said it was a great learning in that fight.
Yeah, I do think it's a learning fight. And what people got to realise with Masood is that he is 5-0. And he's not really had these learning fights. He's had one learning fight in Taka Bembra, which then he got avoided a lot from near enough every journeyman. Then he had to step up against an unbeaten, unknown opponent, to which he did knock out in 2 rounds. Then we had Paul Holt, that was on a winning record, also knocked out in 2 rounds. And then a very, very tough opponent in Batty Singh that come off of 5 wins and ended up stopping him in the 6th round. This is an 8-round fight for Masood. This is only his 5th fight. This is it's not a bad result what he did. He's going to be very negative on himself, but it's not a bad result what he did. He's got a lot to learn. He'll have a look back at it. He felt very fatigued. I thought that you come in a lot lighter than what you're supposed to. I mean, he was £5 lighter than what he was supposed to come in at. Yeah. And maybe that's the thing that he needs to work on with his nutritionist. Have a go back. I mean, but Steve will tell you as well. I mean, Steve's very critical of him. He'll go and tell you about how he thought the fight went. I thought it showed Masood's resilience. They did go in, and if you see the last round, I thought he was very, very agitated because the opponent was very negative. He was turning his back on him. He was grappling him. I thought Masood could have had him in that last fight if he had the chance to. But that's what happens in boxing. People do have different game plans, and when people are hurt, they don't want to show they're hurt. They'd just rather try and survive the round and get through it. But at the end of the day, he's had a win. His winning records continues, and now it's just sitting back. Everyone as a team, just to sit down and think what is the best step for Masood now. What weight, where he's going to go. We're still aiming for a title fight at the end of the year, and that's a big thing for us.
Masood, me and you spoke on the way in to the arena tonight, and I spoke to you. I said to you, this will be a massive, tough fight for you. And you said, on paper it is. Obviously, this opponent here, he's had 53 amateur fights. We were talking about him coming into it. He was no mug tonight. You knew he was going to be no mug tonight. So can you take some sort of pleasure from getting the win tonight? Because obviously that's a tough fight. And to get through that 8th round, the first 8th round and get the win, you must certainly be happy a bit.
There's 2 things I'm happy about with this fight. One is I can do 8 rounds with ease as well. Like as the rounds were going on, beginning rounds I did good, mid rounds I didn't do too great, and then as later rounds I did better, but I started up in the pace. So I know I have the stamina for that. There's no doubt about that. And my power came on later on as well. It's just about being a little bit more critical, picking my punches a little bit better, and being clever with my defense, with my approach and how I attack, how I defend. But yeah.
In the first round, you came out the blocks really early, looking like you wanted to get him out the early doors. Was that something you was looking to do? Something your team worked on? What was the reason for you coming out so quickly and fast, trying to get the stoppage?
I was an idiot. I was just trying to knock him out. That's what it was. I wanted to go home early, and that was it. It was a hard camp. I wasn't throughout the entire camp. I wasn't 100%. I was like, you know what? Let me come out like Joe Cordina, see what I can do, and then go home early. But yeah, that's not what happened.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a learning thing. I'm sure your next fight and the coach over here will making sure that's not going to happen again. Yeah, I'm sure that's not going to happen again in your next fight. Sonny, what's next for him? Obviously, we talk about him fighting at featherweight. Let's talk about obviously him fighting at super bantam again. What's going to be next for him? Is he going to be fighting at super bantam again in an 8-rounder?
I think everyone needs to have a discussion of that as a team. But another thing is, I mean, Masood not feeling too good and taking a fight. Now, Masood's journey into the pros has been a longevity journey. I mean, it took him ages to get his licence. It took him ages. He turned over in the worst possible time during COVID. Like, everything was shut down. Then he got a fight date. Then he got COVID. So it was like he had like 19 months out the ring until he had his professional thing. Now, he can't. I think longer.
Yeah. I turned pro in 2019.
Yeah. Sorry,
I didn't have a fight till 2021.
Yeah. So, but he don't really want to afford. If he's not 100%, he's still going to take the fight because he wants to progress, and he is progressing. He's progressing at a rapid pace. I mean, you've got to have a look at the fights that he's had. It's a rapid pace. But now it's a time where he needs to decide not just what weight category he needs to do, but he needs to just have a break. He really needs to have a break. And I think Steve, everyone tells him, this guy just does not get out of the gym and he needs to really have a break and sit down, have a think, and we'll literally go back and we see where we're going to be at the next fight, which is going to be another 8-rounder, and we're still aiming for that title fight at the end of the year. So that's our aim, and I don't think we're going to go away from that.
Mas, hearing that, you're going to be getting another 8-round again. How much are you going to think you're going to learn from tonight in taking into the next fight in the 8-rounder?
Oh, tremendous amounts. I mean, there was a lot of stuff which I did wrong, and again, going to the level which I want to go at, those mistakes need to be corrected. Massive learning curve. I'm happy this came on early on in my career, because I can't stop everybody, and I need to realise that early on rather than later on. And what needs to come first is my boxing ability, rather than this ego or this little talk about everyone like, oh, you're going to knock him out, you're going to do this, and I bought into the hype as well. So it's a good learning curve for me.
Touch on one thing. So if we spoke before, as I mentioned earlier, heading into the arena, you said you want to get another 3 or 4 more fights this year if you can. So would that be the next thing now, to get 3 more fights and then go for a title?
Oh, 100%, 100%. I mean, I don't want to be backseated again. I want to push forward, get as many fights in as possible, and progress, because this is how I'm going to learn. I'll take a little bit of time off, come back to the drawing board, and work on the stuff which is fresh in my mind and which is fresh for us to work on.
Before I let you both go, a quick message for you, Mas, first. Your supporters to come down and support you again, always getting behind you in all your fights.
Again, thank you guys for coming down. I appreciate it a million. Believe me, my next fight, my performance will be a lot better. And, you guys don't deserve that type of performance or that type of outlet for me. It'll be better.
Sonny, anything before I let you go?
Yeah, he's very critical of himself. I mean, interviewing him now, you would think he lost the fight. And I'm guessing this actually feels like a loss for you sometimes, because that is how critical he is. But when you're going to see him have that rest, when he's going to get back in the gym, you're going to see a different Masood the next fight. And I think he's going to show you what he's made of. I mean, but we've got to make decisions. Like, he's got to make decisions what weights, where we're going. And I think we're all on the same path, and we're just waiting for him to just give us that sort of direction. This is his career. We're just helping him along the way. So he's going to direct everyone the way he wants to direct, and hopefully everyone will be on that ballpark. But you'll see the next fight, you're going to see a different animal, and I'll tell you that now.
Masood, Sonny, thank you for your time. Always a pleasure, and congratulations on the win today, Masood. And I'm looking forward to seeing you back out again.
Thank you so much, mate. Appreciate it.
Thank you.